Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll help the channel out and it'll get you more videos like this. Let's get to it. Our first one comes from Inside Cauliflower 212. Am I in the wrong for rejecting my friend who I asked out a few years back? I, a 27-year-old male, rejected by my friend, a 26-year-old female, when she asked me if I wanted to try and be in a relationship with her. We have known each other since elementary, but became close during our college days since we studied in the same university. I slowly developed feelings for her since we'd always go out and always talk through social media. I ended up confessing and asking her out a few months after our graduation, since she said before she wasn't interested in a relationship until she graduates first. I was rejected, since she only saw me as a friend. I was hurt, of course, but able to move on. I did lessen my contact with her as I felt it was the right thing to do for me to move on from my feelings and not to end up bitter about the rejection. It's been 4 years since that happened. We slowly regained the friendship during the pandemic when we ended up messing each other to catch up and talk about anime and video games. And we have the same circle of friends from high school and would end up meeting for drinks and hanging out. We're both single right now, but we did date a few people through the 4 years. Last week, we went out drinking with our friends. I drove her home like usual. When we got to her house, she asked me if I was seeing anybody, and I told her no. She then asked me if I was open to us dating one another, and I also told her no. She said thanks for the ride and went inside their house. I didn't think much about it since I thought it was just the alcohol talking or her attempt of trying to tease me, but the following morning I received a few messages from some of our closer friends in our group that I was an idiot for turning her down and asking why I don't try going out with her on at least one date. Why does he have to do that? When she turned him down, he didn't act like this. He didn't go running to his friends. He didn't, get people to try to tell her to, force her to take you on a date or go on a date with you. I don't see why this is any different. I tried to talk to her the following days and tried to meet her, but she ignored my messages. Last night, I messaged her again asking if we could meet, and she agreed, so I went to her house. She asked me if my answer to us dating has changed somehow, and I said no. That's all I wanted to say, was that it feels unnecessary to have our friends know about the situation. I realize now that I made a mistake on this part, as I can see her misunderstanding me wanting to meet up in person as me being open to dating her. Yeah, I could see that. You should have met her at like a little restaurant or something. Nothing fancy, I don't know, Popeyes, something. She got angry and called me a beehole because I was obviously trying to hurt her for rejecting me back then, and asked me to leave immediately. I wasn't even given a chance to explain my side, that I don't want us to date because I don't feel the same attraction to her I did back then, and I'm comfortable with what we have now. I don't want to bring our friends into this situation and cause a fight between our group. I'm sorry, man. That's just the way it's going to be. That's how these type of women like to fight and get at you. They turn everyone against you. Sometimes they can even turn your family against you if you don't have a strong family. So be careful with that. Even if you don't want to, that's how she's gonna do it because she wants to be the victim and make you look like the bad guy and separate everyone from you. So if I were you, I would get ready to look for a new friend group because she's probably gonna turn them all against you. And I also don't see us being in a relationship with each other. Am I in the wrong for rejecting her and not giving her a chance? Throwaway, since some of my friends also use Reddit. No, you are not in the wrong, OP. She didn't give you a chance. You are not obligated to give her a chance. She is owed nothing. No one should be forced to date anyone they don't want to date. She said no, that was it. You handled it like an adult, and you distanced yourself, because yeah, most people grow bitter seeing the person shoot them down like that. And what did she do? She acted like a child and started going after you. So again, not the beehole. You do not owe her a thing like she doesn't owe you a thing, OP. Not the beehole. Or, no, you're not in the wrong. And our next one's from Brittany's Lost. Am I in the wrong for telling my mom-in-law to not come around every day to see my newborn? Since having my first newborn, she's been coming around the house every day, sometimes twice a day, even when my husband isn't home and is at work. And it's not like she even pops in and leaves shortly after. She stays for at least an hour or more. At first she wasn't even notifying me. She would just show up. She lives down the road. But then my husband told her to message me first in case I was sleeping. We've never had a close relationship. She's a control freak and used to be rude to me and always tried to encourage my husband to dump me because I was shy and not loud and outgoing. Why would she want him to dump you? That's great. That's a fantastic type of woman I'm interested in, but back to it. Apparently, that meant I wouldn't fit in with their family. Also accused me of being with him for his money. However, the last year she's been okay with me since my husband told her to make more of an effort. Otherwise, she would not be able to see our baby. For the last year, our relationship is much better in the sense that we are civil, and she is okay with me. I already indirectly told her that I'm looking forward to some alone time with the baby, and days off to myself, without anyone coming over, but she obviously didn't think it applied to her, or she didn't care. It's probably that one. My husband also asked her to respect my space and let me have some alone time. My mom came over from another country to stay with me for a couple of weeks. She still came around every day. She continues to come around every day, and when she does, she just tries to wake up the baby, prodding him, pushing her hand over his chest, rocking his cot, talking loudly while standing over him, etc., etc. She tells me that I shouldn't let him sleep on my chest, and asks to hold him whilst he's asleep on me. Okay, she might steal your baby. She also will go into every room in the house to check how tidy it is, and will complain if it's messy. Oh my god, kick her out, man, just kick her out. Also, the first night I was home after having the baby, she came around and stayed for my midwife appointment. She was at my house for hours and stayed intentionally so she could be there for when my midwife was there. She never asked me if it was okay that she stayed for it, and was very much involved for the whole time, following us into every room while the midwife was showing us how to bathe the baby and how to breastfeed, etc., etc. Yesterday, when she messaged me that she was going to come around later, she never asked, only informs me. I told her not to worry about that, and she shouldn't feel the need to come around every day as it's good for me to have some days to myself, and she never responded to my message, and I never heard back from her the following day. Oh, good. Am I crazy, or is this totally normal request and something I shouldn't even have to address? I assume it was common courtesy, and she should know this without having to be told. Hi, OP. Yes, this is common courtesy to, not keep barging in on someone, especially a wife who's trying to bond with her child. So, by the way she doesn't respect you, I think she still hates you. She's just pretending to be nice because her son told her you're not gonna see your grandchild if you keep acting like that. And she's still basically acting like that, just pretending to be nice while doing it. I wouldn't be surprised if you tried to steal that baby, I'm just saying. And you need to protect your child and do what's best for your child. Having someone come over and intentionally wake up the child while it's sleeping, because babies need to sleep to, grow and be healthy, is, an unhealthy thing to do to your child. Personally, I would talk to your husband and tell him to just ban her unless he's there, maybe so he can control her and keep her away from you. But he's got to put his foot down and be like, you can't come over every day. Or if he won't do it, you need to put your foot down and straight up just be blunt with her and be like, hey, don't come over. You're a burden. Stop it. You can come over, on certain occasions, but not every day. You gotta stop. So, P, no, you're not in the wrong. Your mother-in-law is definitely in the wrong. Our final one comes from Embarrassed Bet 3584. Am I in the wrong for reporting my masseuse after she accused me of being a vampire? I, a 31-year-old female, got a massage a couple weeks from a masseuse, 30s female I think, I hadn't seen before, who was new to my spa. I'll call her Joy. The consultation was normal, as if we were at first, for the first few minutes of the massage. Suddenly, Joy's hand began reacting to my skin, as if she touched a hot stovetop. She stopped long enough for me to ask if everything was okay. Joy said she felt lightheaded. I asked how I could help if she needed to stop. But Joy assured me that she was fine and kept going. A few minutes later, Joy started reacting like I was burning her again. I asked if she was okay again, and she responded, "It's like you're sucking all the energy out of me." And then a bit later, "Are you a vampire?" There are different kind of vampires, like an energy vampire. I awkwardly laughed. Another few minutes later, she had the same reaction to my skin and said, "You can tell me if you're an energy vampire. Nothing else makes sense." I awkwardly laughed again and admitted, well, I'm allergic to garlic, which is true. This was the wrong thing to say. She pulled back her hands so quickly and sounded afraid. Here are some things Joy said between hissing and pain from my skin. "You're too powerful. The last time I felt energy like this was when my ex kissed me. You're a warrior. I can tell you have warrior energy. I could tell the second you walked in you were ready for battle. For context, I'm a librarian with resting, you know how I can help you face. I just had a vision that you challenged me. That's what you're here for today. You're like Jean Grey with all that phoenix fire in you. Logically, I would be rogue in this situation, but I digress." To the last point, I responded, "Well, my middle name is Jean." This was also the wrong thing to say. I was face up at this point and saw the fear in Joy's eyes. She said, "I'm not your masseuse. I love you," and left. I checked out and paid full price plus tip. Why did you tip? Why did you pay? She didn't even provide the service you were here for. By the end of the massage, I was convinced she didn't want to touch my body and came up with fanciful excuses. I told the story to friends with the tone, "Listen to this wild thing that happened to me, lol." And they all encouraged me to report Joy. Yeah, you should have. I thought about calling the manager for days before calling. It all came down to how insecure I felt afterwards. I don't think you should be made to feel insecure about your body in a situation as vulnerable as a massage. The manager was not surprised and said Joy told him that she refused to see me again because of my energy. Ooh, I'd fire her, she sounds crazy. He doesn't know she had said all of that to me, plus everything before about vampires, visions, etc. He called me 3 separate times to apologize. He also asked me to send him the story in writing and refunded me. I still feel guilty about calling the manager. Why? You shouldn't. You shouldn't feel guilty at all. You went to go get a service, the employee was, I don't know, crazy. Failed to provide the service. You shouldn't have to pay for not getting what you were there for. At the same time, I don't think anyone getting a massage should feel like their body is wrong or physically harming their masseuse. Am I wrong for reporting Joy? OP, no, you're not wrong for reporting Joy. Joy, like I said, failed to provide a service, went on very unprofessionally, and is a liability to that establishment. She needs to be, handled, written up, fired. Sounds like she's doing this crap before, because she had no problem telling the boss that, oh, energies and all that nonsense. And if you didn't report Joy, you wouldn't have gotten your refund, which you absolutely deserved because you did not receive your service. So OP, no, you're not in the wrong, and I hope Joy gets fired because she sounds like a whole bag of crazy. Thank you for making it to the end of the video with me, and can you please do what I said in the beginning, and like, comment, and subscribe. It really and truly does help the channel out, it helps it grow, and it helps you get more videos like this. Velvet out.